first round of the playoffs down Las Vegas against a strong Calusa side. 40-50 was the score. Calusa went on to play in the national championship and lost. They lost bad, real bad. So I don't feel too terrible about it, but it's always next season. Anyway, we are on our way out east, up to the Blue Mountains. Gonna visit, play some frisbee golf, and we're gonna go fishing. We're gonna go on the Snake River out of Heller Bar, up into Hell's Canyon a bit, smallmouth trout, maybe even pull on a sturgeon. Of course, we'll do some cooking, have some good times, and make adventures. So stick around and see what we can get into. So we got the disc golf goal out here. It's up over there. I don't know if you can see it. So this is I'm gonna throw a mid.
Well, yeah, you can just see it right through the trees, that orange spot.
You just see the top, can't you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a discraft zone. Very reliable disc. Throw this wraith and see if I can. There you go, little flexor.
Ooh.
Double doinker. Playable. Get in there. Get in there. Get in there. Oh. Ooh, comes around though, right in the freaking bullseye. Yeah, I'll take that. Par. Oh, nice. Par.
All right, so they're way up top. Whoa, whoa! Okay, so I didn't zoom out in time, but his landed right in here.
Oh. Par. Oh.
Oh, here we go. Whoa.
You're just probably about done.
Hey, look at it.
I'll just turn that off.
Better take a look at the bacon. We got bacon over here.
There you go.
It is definitely pouring here. All right.
Okay. We've got 18 discs, and we're going to throw them over there, that basket. Let's see how we do. The old buzz, dude. Get in there. Get in there. There it is. Okay, after the spray and pray session, look at that. I think we got it. We'll do some fine edit and just do the, what's this, Gannon-Burr?
The tapping.
Just like that. Good morning. Today's the day we're gonna go down to the river. So hopefully we're gonna have a bunch of fish to catch, but we're definitely gonna get on some big water and have a good time. So we'll be showing you guys our road trip down to the river and our Snake River adventure. Headed down to the Snake. It's like some muleys. What's up, girls? We are going down.
No guardrail, people.
Down. Going down, people. Down to Goblin Town. Down to Goblin Town.
Oh, he's
Snake.
just look at that neck.
Slither and
Look
Snake.
at that neck. Oh, he's
He looks like he's upset. That's cool looking. Oh, he's all humped up. There it is. The mighty Snake. We made it down. Now we're going to the end of the road. Going to Heller Bar. It's going to be a day. Kind of a fun fact here. So this truck here,
And the garage.
he's registered to Idaho because he's got to cross the river every day because he lives over there in Idaho. And we're still here in Washington. That's an interesting commute. Looks like there's a lot of boats up, but it's gonna get busy. It's Independence Day week. It's Monday, July 1st. Heller Bar. Our ride for the day. We're going upriver. We're gonna catch some bass. We're gonna hit some water. We're gonna have a good time.
And it's this boy's birthday in 2 days.
This is one of the most cool spots in the canyon geologically because it's real obvious if you look upriver how it's all just jumbled terrain and no pattern, and that's all been transported here on the tectonic plates. And right here was the subduction zone where it was the oceanic plate was being subducted under the continental plate, and this is all limestone from the bottom of the ocean, both sides of these canyon right here, one of the larger limestone deposits, and they've done that sonar testing and found huge tunnels and stuff back over in here, open
Caves?
Yeah, here down, you see nothing but that real symmetrical layers of Columbia River basalt.
Rock, yeah.
The top layers are only like 6 million years old. This limestone is 200 million years old. But this all happened recently with lava flows happening right in this area. Big fissures would open up, 5-10 miles wide, and lava would come out. They call it the Grand Round formations and Chief Joseph formations, where all these lava flows are about 10 million years apart, and they made it all the way to Tri-Cities, and some made it all the way to the ocean. They came out of the ground really fluid-like, according to the geologists, a low viscosity, so it was more like a hot oil than like the slow lava you see in Hawaii or something happening now. But this is from here down, it's all really young rock, and from here up, it's really old rock.
There's Daniel down there. More for jet boats.
Come here, I want to talk about this rod.
Okay.
So, this rod was given to me by one of my players. A fine few. The boys were in high school. We played in a third place championship match, and we only had 17 players. The other team had a full 24, and we won that day. And when I gave out the dog tags, I usually give out awards. I put the fine few on it. And this rod was given to me by one of my players. His name's Mike Essay. Shout out to Mike and his company, Excel Window Tinting. If you're in Southwest Washington, he's the window tinting and detailing man. Cheers, Mike.
I think he does those body wraps too.
He does all of it.
That's the salmon coming in, right? puppy.
Yeah, I think 1.4, 1.8.
Got another one.
What's Jonah using?
Yeah, what's Jonah using?
He's got a wedding ring.
Joe.
Yeah, they're just rolling, no motor right now.
Yeah.
Kids have fun.
On my cataract, I got that free horse on there, on the back. And I can just come right up behind the raft and punch it right between the tubes and don't have to tie up or nothing. And so easy, just let up the throttle.
That's rolling motor.
I don't know if you want to run down there and get that in some little beach and just walk around fishing, nice hike.
God, you guys are really raking them in, but they're
Yeah.
just little guys.
Just little guys, there's
Reporters for that newspaper did a really thorough research on this tragedy that happened here and wrote a book about it. It's called Massacred for Gold, and his name is David Noakes. And it's really a cool story, and it's a long story. So once we get tied up, I'll anybody can listen to it wants to, or go fishing. Okay, we'll start with the Doug Bar that we passed, where the old barn was and stuff. And that was a well-established group of outlaws hanging out there, and they were known for rustling cattle on either side of the river and horses and swimming across, selling them on the other side. It's proven that they did go clear into Montana one time, robbed a stagecoach, got a bunch of money, came back, supposedly had it stashed there at Doug Bar. But they'd been working out of Doug Bar there for quite a while, and they were established family members from the pioneers of Joseph and Enterprise over in that area. And that winter, God, I'm not even going to try to hit the dates on the head, but 1860s, there was a group of about 50 Chinese that ended up in Lewiston after the gold was playing out elsewhere. They'd come down in these canyons, Salmon and Snake River, and rework the tailings of the white guys. Mostly is what only thing they were allowed to do. They weren't allowed to stake claims or anything. And they loaded up 2 big wooden boats in Lewiston with gear, like long dugout canoes more or less, and they got a bunch of ropes and poles, and about 50 of them all together, 2 boats, and they pulled them from up here. Guys on shore holding onto the ropes and guys downriver pushing out with big long poles, and they pulled those boats all the way up here from Lewiston and when they got here, the group, they said it looked like there was a good place to start, and around half of them stayed here. The other half kept going and went clear up to Salt Creek. You know where Salt Creek is, above Pittsburgh Landing. Yeah, it's just above the Kirkwood Museum on the Oregon side. And the other ones went clear up there. Well, the outlaws kept an eye on these guys. It's just around the corner down here by Trail, and they saw them working really hard and industrious, and they rechanneled this whole creek and had multiple sluice boxes set up and were working. So the outlaws figured they probably had some gold somewhere, and they let them work all winter on it. And in the spring they made a plan, and they came up here and hid in the rim rocks and started picking them off one at a time. And there's different stories on this. Is a real condensed version that there was only one guy that knew where the gold was. You've heard that on More Than One Gold story, that only one guy in the group knew where the gold was, and they evidently shot him because they never did find any gold. There's another story that says they did find a little bit of gold, but there was like mid-30s of people. They don't even know exactly how many, 33, 35, and they killed them all, and they came down and hacked them up, dismembered them, threw their body pieces in the river, and either they did find a little gold or they didn't find any. They did or didn't, but they went back to their job. Oh, and a big part of it, right after that massacre happened, that group from up above hadn't done any good at Salt Creek, and they had come back down, and they pulled in here and saw what had happened, and they were killed by the outlaws. They ended up getting killed. So and nobody said anything about it. They found some body parts washed up in Lewiston, and people would just say, oh, it's just Chinese, and brush it off. And there was an old retired police officer that said, he saw too much evidence that couldn't be ignored, and he decided he was going to investigate on his own. And he came up and infiltrated them as a gold miner, a prospector, and infiltrated that group of outlaws down there, and saw that there had like sacks of rice sacks and things like that with Chinese markings on it. So that was his first clue that he was on the right trail. And he collected a lot of evidence and went back to town. This all took months to do back then, and ran it through the courts with evidence, and they put out a warrant for the people, and as soon as there was a warrant put out for them, they all freaking disappeared. A couple of them were never heard from again. A couple of them from the more well-to-do families in Joseph, they were arrested and went to court and found not guilty. And it was a real corrupt trial, and the records just came out recently, and that David Noakes from the Portland paper found it in the back of an old safe in Joseph County. There was some documentation that they found about who knew about it, and that who knew their kid was involved in it and stuff like that, but kept it quiet and made sure they didn't get prosecuted. So to this day, it's the largest mass murder in the history of the Northwest. Thankfully, hopefully it won't get broken, but it was 30 some plus people altogether.
Yeah, and they got away with it, huh?
Yeah, well, they actually took it clear to the Chinese consulate, a group of Chinese, and they negotiated with the Chinese government, the United States government, and I can't remember the dollar amount. In today's dollars, it was maybe a couple $1 million or something, but we did give them a cash settlement for the people that were murdered here. And there is a monument up here that was put in, and some writings. It's kind of a neat hike, and there's some Indian writings in the monument to the Chinese. And on the tour boats, we'd get an amazing amount of Chinese nationals, Chinese people that heard about it, read about the book, and made a pilgrimage to come up here and see this monument. And it's amazing. They believe in money for the afterlife and food, and they just leave all kinds of fresh fruit and vegetables and
Bottles
all
of
kinds of
sake.
this Chinese money around. And Butch and I, the other guy driving, both looking at each other going, who's going to clean this?
It won't be hard
Because
to
they'd
move.
leave all kinds of stuff behind, and it was supposedly for their ancestors to use in the afterworld. And oftentimes you'll come up here and there'll be money or tokens sitting on the monument.
How far is it up there?
It's not very far.
100 yards.
I want to go up there and look at it.
It's a good base size.
Let's see, Dad.
Pardon, that's a good size. Here's a cooler right here. It's got ice in it. net if you catch a trophy one right there to your right.
Bigger than the last one.
Yeah.
Keep getting bigger, like you said. Yeah, they keep getting bigger. We're gonna get granddaddy here one of these days.
Rocks are stacked up right
Oh yeah, it looks like it's a little house.
Is that a trail?
Yeah.
Is it the Duck Bar Trail?
I think the trail's up,
My boss. What, Jeff?
I think the trail's up higher along here.
Yeah, I don't see one.
Because I know, I remember leaving Doug Bar and it was uphill.
It was dark, so I just went out. That's on the knees. And I was just still for a long time. The sickness come up on me, you know. And all of a sudden it was like, it's gonna happen. I kind of went like that.
All right, Randy, here you go.
All right.
We are the eye of the needle.
Yeah, and it's, you can almost run that side of it. It's just a little too low.
There's a big moor over there, isn't it? Water.
Right back there.
So we had to get up early this morning, and we did make our traditional Heathman breakfast, which is biscuits and gravy. So we're making it on the evening after our fishing trip. On the way down Montgomery Ridge Road, that gravel road down to Hell's Canyon, we saw a badger. A freaking badger in Washington State. Just add that to a list of, you know, things I've never seen before. A badger. He was on the side of the road, he's ready to fight. So these are badger biscuits in honor of the badger that we got to see. He was amazing. You guys will see the video. We caught tons of fish. No sturgeon, didn't really try. But great trip anyway. So this is the outro. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you.